Welcome back, everybody. I hope the weekend treated y'all well. I know we have some weather coming through, and we'll touch on that later. We'll update some hospital ICU stats and remember a former high school football coach who's died of COVID. I'm Mike Morgan, and we're down in Alabama. Over the weekend, Alabama hospitals continued to run a deficit in intensive care unit beds. That is, there were more patients across the state needing ICU beds than hospitals had ICU beds available, by a few dozen. 1,601 patients, only 1,537 staffed ICU beds. And by the way, that doesn't necessarily mean every bed in the state is occupied at that moment, especially considering patient turnover. But that doesn't do you any good if you're in one of the hospitals or cities that don't have a place for you when you need one. Hospitals are having to treat those severely ill patients in other rooms. AL.com's Lita Gore reports that now 55% of the patients requiring ICU care have COVID-19. As of yesterday, the state of Alabama had 2,829 people hospitalized with COVID. 48 of those patients were pediatric. The vaccination breakdown was 85% unvaccinated, 3% partially vaccinated, and 12% fully vaccinated. Longtime Alabama high school football coach R.L. Watson has passed away after having COVID-19, reports AL.com's Ben Thomas. Watson spent 19 years as a head coach at Patrician Academy, Escambia Academy, Alba, Baldwin County, and Andalusia. He perhaps made his biggest impact at Alba in Biola Battery, where his teams won 56 games in 9 years. Current Theodore football coach Eric Collier played for Watson at Alba during the early 80s. Quote, "In 1982, we went undefeated, and everyone started buying into Alba High School and the football program. It's crazy how many lives he touched. There's no way I would be where I am right now without him. There were times in my life when I needed him, and he was there." End quote. Watson's son Todd coached 10 years at Foley and is now a special assistant to Nick Saban at Alabama. He said both his parents were hospitalized with COVID early this month. His mom's now recovering at home, but he said his dad just never turned the corner. R.L. Watson was 74 years old. Hurricane Ida made landfall in Louisiana yesterday, and its effects are being felt throughout Alabama as well. Now, this is a daily update, and the news off Ida is still unfolding, so I don't want to talk about what's happening right this minute. But we've seen plenty of rain and flooding already in places, and I'd encourage you to check out AL.com and AL.com/weather for news and photos and links to weather coverage. For our purposes, I'm going to get weather reporter Lee Morgan to talk just a little bit about weather in Alabama going forward from here. Lee, I sure appreciate you for stepping away from your forecast updates to help us out.
Oh, no problem. Well, today's going to probably be a wild weather day. We're going to be on the lookout for tornadoes that could spin up very quickly in these rain bands from Ida. Ida is going to continue to move inland, while the core of the storm will stay mostly to the west of us. We're going to be on the lookout. We're going to be on that eastern side, which people call the dirty side of a hurricane. And while it will be weakening and spinning down, we're going to be watching out for heavy rain, gusty winds, and those tornadoes we talked about. Most of the state will have a marginal risk of severe weather today and into Tuesday as well. So just keep an eye out for when these rain bands come through, because these tornadoes can come and go pretty quick. We'll also be looking at several inches of rain. Southwest Alabama right now looks to be the spot that will get the most. But the western part from north to south Alabama could pick up at least 4, maybe even 6 inches of rain in some spots. And winds could be gusty. So we've got flash flood watches. We've got wind advisories going through today into Tuesday. Now, Ida hopefully will pull out, and the weather will start to improve Wednesday into Thursday. We'll start to see some clearing skies and things get back to normal. So just hang in there. The wet weather should clear out. Hopefully Thursday, statewide, will get to be a better day.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Lee.
No problem.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll be back here again tomorrow. Until then, stop by and see us on the internet anytime you can at AL.com.